So in step one, what we have to write, how we have to start our solution. So for that, we have a like basic thing. Like first of all, what thing we have to do in while writing the step one. First thing that I will do is identify the keyword. Identify the keyword or key concepts that was used in the question. First of all, I will identify the key concept. After I like, let's say I just identified the key concept. This is the physics question, and I have identified like this question is based on the Newton's law of gravitation. Okay, and in this particular question, we have to like it was asked like to find the like attraction force between two bodies. So, for example, I have just read the question and I identified like in this question we are using a concept of law of gravitation. So I will write that heading here. After I identify the key concept, I will provide the definition of the key concept. Definition of key concept. This will be the second thing that I will do in step one. Third thing is I will provide the formula of key concept. So this is the approach that I will follow in step one. And each and every step, there's one additional thing that we have to like provide. In every step, we have to provide the explanation section. How to use this explanation section, I will show you when I will explain the like online portal tools. Okay. In explanation section, what we have to do is we have to like our approach for the solution. This thing we have to explain in under explanation section. This is the structure for our step one. First of all, we will identify the keyword. We will provide the definition. Or if it is an economics question or any theoretical question, then we have to provide some like introduction concepts, or you can provide like I will show you some examples also for that. So, and this is for the explanation. In explanation section, we will provide our approach for the solution. Then from step two onwards, we will start our solution. Real solution will start from step two onwards. Our solution will start, and then each and every step we have to provide some explanation. Okay, so we will take one example, then I will show you all the things, and after that we have to provide the final answer. In the final answer, it will we have to provide the conclusion of the complete solutions. Final answer will consist of conclusion. So this is the approach that we have to follow. Step one, step two, and then final answer. So in each and every solution, two steps are required. You can see like this is the basic requirement. If you are providing one step solution, then it will not work, because first step is only for the introduction. Our solution will start from step two. Then we have to provide the final answer. So even it is a very short question, and then only then also like we have to provide the two steps. So now we are taking one example. I will show you from one example in order to make things very clear. Okay. How we have to approach the solution and how we have to like create our solution, like particular solution. So let's say this was the question. Okay. In this question, there was two mass given. Okay. And the mass of the M1 is given, M2 is given. And we have to find the attraction force between these two bodies. So for that, we are using this particular formula. So how I will write, how will I formulate the step one? So first of all, introduction, I will provide the introduction. So introduction, for, like first thing is I will identify the key concept. So the key concept here is Newton's law of gravitation. So this will be my key concept that I have written here. So after writing the key concept, I will just bold it out. Now from the second line, I will start the definition of the key concept. So here I will explain like what is the Newton's law of gravitation. So here I can mention like if two bodies are given, two bodies with mass m1 and m2, or anything like I'm not a physics expert, so you can write the definitions as per in your own words. So I will provide the definition of this Newton's law of gravitation. After that, I will write the formula of key concept. Formula of key concept means like what is the finding the Newton's law of gravitation. For that, I can use G equals to m1 m2 by r square or whatever the formula is there. So this is the approach that I will follow in the step one: definition, formula, and the heading of the key concept and or like the keyword. In the explanation section, I will mention the approach. So in this particular question, the approach means what I am going to do first and what is the second thing that I want to do. So you can see like here, if I want to use this formula, so I can write like in the step in the explanation section, like in order to find the value of in order to find the value of attraction force, or you can say the like the force of gravitation between two bodies, I will first of all calculate the value of mass m1 and m2, or we can say like I will calculate the radius between these two, distance between these two bodies. Then I will put the value of distance in the gravitation law of gravitation formula, and then we can find the value that is required. So this is the approach that we have to explain in the explanation section, step one explanation section. Like what will be our approach? And in the approach means I will I will mention like first I will find the value of m1, then I will find the value of r, then I will find the value of g, and then after calculating all these value, I will put these values into the this formula, then I will calculate the value of f. So this is the approach that we have to mention in step one. Any doubts regarding the step one, you can ask me. Anyone, or is it clear? Hello, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the approach for step one. Let me show you one example also for this. I guess you all have gone through this particular file, okay? How to write the demo solution. In that we have also provided the this particular example. So here you can see like this question was based on the elasticity of demand. So we have mentioned this particular key concept and keyword by highlighting this. Then we have provided the definition of the elasticity of demand. Then we will going to provide the formula. For writing the formula, we will write this statement. The elasticity of demand formula is represented as follows, like this. After providing the formula, we have to also provide the parameter details, like what here E is like representing here, what is P representing here, what is Q representing here. So all these things we have to mention in this formula. Please hold for 1 minute. Here we have to like mention like what is E representing, what is P representing, what is Q representing. So all the parameters we have to also explain while writing the formula. So now we have already inserted the formula. So whenever we are going to use any like major formulas in the further step two, step three, step four, all these formulas we have to first of all introduce in step one. After introducing the formula in step one, then only we will like use those formula in further steps. So let's say this formula was introduced here. Now, if I want to use this formula on a step two, so I will not write the formula by again and again, okay? Because we have already introduced the formula in step one. Now I will write simply using the elasticity of demand formula given in step one. The value can be calculated as. So here we have provided the reference like this particular formula is already given in step one. So we are now going to calculate the values. So for calculating the values, we can now directly put the values in this formula like E equals to 2 minus, because the formula we have already explained in like step one. And one more thing we need to note is that after whenever we are using any kind of like formula or any kind of equations, always provide the supporting statement. Like we have just found the E equal to 1. So what this E equal to 1 means, so we have to write that out in a line, like hence the elasticity of demand is 1. So this conclusion statement we have to provide after doing any calculation, the value that we are finding, what this value is representing. So we have to also write it out in a text part. So this is the particular approach that we have to follow for step 1 and step 2. And for the final answer, this thing we have to also like note, like personal pronouns in this project we can't use. Personal pronouns means we can't write like we or I, like these words. So here I can't write like these lines, like now we will going to put the value of r in this formula. No, we can't use the v word. So we have to use the instructional tone. We have to use a tone of the tutor. So here we will directly tell the student like put the value of like r into this formula, put the value of this and do this and do that. Don't use the v and I words. This is very important thing. Okay. And explanation is compulsory in each and every step. So step one explanation I have already explained, like here we have to provide the approach. So now you will find me like ask me like what we have to provide the explanation in explanation, what we have to write in explanation of step 2. So in the step 2 now we can't provide the approach because approach we have already provided in step 1 explanation. So now in step 2 explanation we have like few things that we can mention, like, or you can treat this like explanation of step 2 as note section or extra information. Okay. So generally what we have to do is whatever we are doing in this step 2, we have to explain this thing in the explanation section. Okay. So that we can do, like if I have found any values, or if I were using any formulas, then I can provide the explanation for that, like why I was using these formulas or these values. Or if I want to provide any extra information, then also I can provide this in the explanation section. Extra information means in between the solution, if I am using any different like concept, let's say while doing the calculations, now I just want to use the Pythagoras theorem to find the value of the something. So now the Pythagoras theorem is an extra information. I have written here like I'm going to use like we can write here, it will use the Pythagoras theorem to find the value of something. Okay. So now in the explanation sections we can mention like what is the Pythagoras theorem. So this is the extra information that we can provide. Or notes means if you want to provide any alternate approach or additional thing apart from this, like the things that we have provided in step 2, then we can explain in the explanation section. So in the classrooms also, like when our teacher is teaching us in the lectures, then like they used to provide like some tips to us, like please like write a note and just keep this thing as important. So all these things we have to write in the explanation section. So we have many things like for the step 2, either we can provide the notes, we can provide the extra informations, or we can provide the like what we are doing in the step 2. Okay. So whenever we are using step 3, so the explanation section for step 3 will cover the things that was explained it under step 3. So each step must have an explanation section. And a final answer I have just already provided you, like conclusion. Okay. So this is the particular thing. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can ask me regarding the structure, like how we have to structure, what we have to write in step 1, step 2, or explanation section, or the final answer. Anyone having any doubts? If no doubts, then we can proceed towards the tool uses.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes,
Sir,
Preeti.
if for
No.
example I'm from chemistry background, like
Okay.
last I have one question. Now, among the
Hmm.
two choices, which is the best nucleophile? That is it, my question.
Hmm. Yes.
Now, when I go to that question, now first in the
Hmm.
first step one, I have to write what is the given data, objective, and the keyword, everything. Now
No,
I
no,
can
no.
define what is nucleophile.
Given data and objective, we don't have to provide. I already like explained you the like structure.
Okay. No, now
Given
I
data
have that
and objective,
word, no
we
key
don't have to
term I
provide.
have
Yeah,
there, nucleophile.
yeah, yes,
So I have to define what is nucleophile. Then some
yes.
connecting terms related to nucleophile also, whether I have to explain it in the step one or not.
You
Like
can provide
electronegativity, I'll get some terms there. So
if it
definition I can provide
if it
there in the
helped,
step
like
one.
if it helped in the solution, then you can provide. Don't provide any
Okay.
irrelevant informations. Okay, just
Okay.
all the
Okay.
things related to the question itself.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I will
Okay.
just also tell you like what is the word limit, like how we will decide like we have provided sufficient or not. Like for the heading we have
Okay.
provided here, for the definitions you can provide 2 lines. Okay, not more than that. It is
Okay.
not required. And if you think like we can't use the formula and you can't provide anything because the questions varies like different to different, in that case step 1 at least contain 3 to 4 lines. You can either provide the
Okay.
definition, introduction, or anything. It is up to you.
Okay.
And the in explanation line 1 or 2 line is sufficient. This is the minimum criteria. Don't provide less than these. Okay. three
Okay.
to four lines in
But
step 1. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that I have understood. But in the earlier, it was mentioned, right? Given data to be entered, then objective,
That's why
everything.
that's
That I
why
have
we
understood.
are that's why we are taking this training now, because given data and
Okay.
objective, like we are updating the like the authoring guidelines like time to time. Okay, so this is the latest authoring
Okay.
guideline that we are following here. If you
Oh,
will
that is
provide the
not
given,
required then.
no,
Directly in the
no,
step
that
one.
is not, no, if you will provide the given data and objective, solutions will be deleted directly because the client had changed the authoring guidelines. Okay. So the
Okay.
regular updates we will going to provide you through the groups or through the training. So this is the latest approach that we are using. Key concept, this thing we have to
Okay.
use.
Okay.
And the reason why we have stopped using
Key
the given data
concept,
and
its
objective,
definition,
yeah,
explanation.
key concept, first of all,
Okay.
heading of the
So,
key concept,
uh,
yeah, yes,
heading of the key concept, then
this,
definition means explanation. It comes under the explanation.
no, no, explanation is the approach. I will explain now. Step one explanation, it is the approach.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I can also,
Okay.
I
Okay.
will write again. This is the keyword or key concept.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then after that, we will provide some introduction to that key concept. Introduction means we can either provide the definition,
Definition.
and if it is some formula is there, we can provide the formula. And in the step one explanation, we will provide our approach. Okay, approach means we will provide like how we are
This
going
the
to find the solutions. Yeah, yes.
okay. Okay. Here in the explanation, how that question is solved in a single line. That is what we have to write, not the definition.
No, in explanation section, we only have to provide like what we are going to do in further steps. Step two, step three, what I am going to do
Okay.
now. What will be the approach that I am
Okay.
going to
Okay.
follow for finding the answer. Okay.
Further, for the final
Yeah.
solution. Yes, sir. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will also always recommend you like whenever you are like we will going to allot you some IDs. Okay. So let's say
Okay.
let open any random ID. So before like start solving your questions, always go into the my solution sections of that particular ID. Okay. And we check the answers that the other experts are posting. So this is the chemistry ID. Okay. In this chemistry ID, they are following this approach. You can see like they have mentioned hybridization concept, then we are they are mentioning some explanation to that, and the step two they are solving, then this explanation, this is the final answer. So just go into the rated solutions and always check their green rated solution or upvoted solutions. So it will going to provide you like what is the things that we can do here and what we can't do. Okay, so just go through the IDs that we are going to allot you, and then after going through the my solution sections, then only you will start the production. Okay.
What are your doubts, sir? So if we get any doubts on the solving process in the middle, like whom to approach or what to do,
Have you cleared your demo?
because we are working in the portal for the first time. For
No, no,
first
that's why
around one
I
or
was
two
just
days.
asking, like,
Mm,
have you cleared your demo round?
no, no, no.
Okay, after clear you
Demo
that
round in the sense I'm not working in the portal. Just
no,
in MS Word, one question.
is your demo solution approved?
Yeah, yeah. Demo solution is approved.
Then I guess you must
But
be
I'm asking about
moved into a,
working in the portal.
yeah. That means you are already moved into one production team WhatsApp group. Is there any production team WhatsApp group?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In that group itself, you can directly ask at any time all your doubts. We will
Okay,
provide you
okay.
the
That's what I wanted
instant
to know.
response. Okay. So
That's what
this
I wanted to know because once
yes.
you give us the idea, if I'm working on the portal, while solving the question, I got the doubt. Now, whom to approach was my
No,
question.
no, you can press on the WhatsApp group, and like in this project, we will be like monitoring. We will be taking weekly meetings, monthly meetings. So there will be so lots of meetings
Okay,
and sessions we will going to provide with you. Okay, so your all doubts will
okay,
get
okay,
cleared.
okay, sir. Okay, okay.
So that was
Thank you.
about the portal, like how we have like expert have to work. Like I will also going to
Okay,
provide like how we will have to maintain the record of your work. That thing we will cover because this is the sheet. I will explain the sheet working, but first we will clear the portal part. Okay, then we
okay.
will move into the sheet part, like how to maintain the data that you are working on, for what solutions we will going to bill you. So let's first of all understand the portal tools now. Next thing we will going to learn how to use the tools. So this thing it is clear. Like one more thing that I want to mention here is that you can see the question here. In this question it is mentioned at Q3. Q3, this is the question number. So whenever we are start solving our answer, we have to also mention the Q3 in our all solutions so that student can understand better. So in the step one, before writing key concept and keyword, I will write Q3, and then after I will write my start answering my solutions. So it will going to, is my screen visible or not?
Screen is not visible.
No.
It's not
Okay, okay,
visible.
okay, okay, okay. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yeah. So this was the question I was talking about in this like particular portal. Whenever you're getting any question numbers along with the this particular image, so you can see like this is the only one question, but sometimes we will be getting many questions. So it is always suggested like this question is Q3. So before answering this question, we will mention in step one Q3. Then after that, we will start our keyword definition and formula. So always mention the correct notation. If it in the question Q3, if it is only 3, then mention only 3. If it is like capital Q, small q, small q, always use the same question notation. Now we will learn about the tools, like how we have to draw the diagrams and how we have to write equations regarding to all these things. Okay. So now I'm just putting sub-subject, and now this is my answering portal. So as we already mentioned, like we can't use any external tool in this portal, all things are already inbuilt. So we will learn first things. Okay, so the first option that we are getting is heading, subheading and normal text. So we can choose these as per our requirements. If you are providing heading, use all these buttons. Then these are just general buttons: cut, copy, paste, bold, italic. So these you all know how to use this. And these two buttons are subscript and superscript. So let's say if I want to write x square, so I will write use this button, superscript, like this. And if I want to write the subscript, I will use this button. Okay. So the next tool is the alignment: left aligned, center aligned and right aligned. So we always have to use the left aligned. So now after that, there will be a bullet list if I want to provide any bullet points. After that, this is a table button. So here I will click on the empty table. This table is being used by you can use like it in many manners. Okay. So either we can use this for a comparison chart, and for the economics also, for the calculation also, we can use this table. And here you can see there are the blue buttons and red buttons. And if I will click the blue button, it will add more columns. And same for the row. If I want to add more row, I can click on the plus button. And if I want to decrease the rows, I can simply click the minus. Okay. So here we can, in the columns, we can mention the things that we want to write. Okay. This is about the table part. Now after that, this is the one more button, insert accounting table. So if you are an accounting expert, these general entry tables and T accounting tables is already inbuilt. So you can use this template for your solutions. So the next tool is the inline like 2-line calculation or 3-line math in text. So this is very important, and it is common to all the subjects, whether you are math expert, chemistry, or like physics expert or economics. It is like basic things tool that we need to use. So first of all, understand the tool uses must be proper. So when we how to decide like if you want to use the 2-line calculation or 3-line math in text. So 2-line calculation means if my calculation is only for the 2-line, that means I am just writing here. I will just choose first of all 2-line calculation. Okay. Now I am writing here x equal to 5 plus 7. So you can see like I have just written here 5 plus 7. Now 12 is automatically calculated by this tool. So we can change it to like some other things also. Like if you want to here 10 divided by 2. So you can see if I am writing anything here on the first line, it will automatically getting calculated on the second line. So that means my if my requirement is only for the 2 lines, I will use this tool, 2-line math in text. Okay. Now the next option here is three-line math in text. So when I have to use three line, so let's take an example. Now let's say I'm writing one formula here, like force equals to mass into acceleration. Okay. So now I will provide the value of the mass as a 20 kg and the acceleration is 10. Now you can see the my third step is automatically getting calculated 200. So what when we have to use this tool like the requirement is when our requirement is like this, like in first line we are mentioning the formula, in the second line we are like putting the values, and in the third line the answer is being calculated. So if our requirement is like this, then we can use the three-line math in text. So is this clear, two line and three line, when we have to use these things? Hello.
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, so the next thing is the insert image. Don't use this option because it is not allowed to insert any external image on the portal. This is only for a computer science expert. They can insert the there, if they are using any coding, then they need to output for that coding. So for that they will be using some external tools or external softwares, then only they can use this tool insert image. But for all other subjects, this tool is, you can't use this tool insert image. And after that, this is one button, insert code snippet. Again, this is for a computer science experts only. Now this next tool is the insert equation renderer. So equation render tool you must learn. It doesn't matter like if whatever subject you are solving. So y equal to x square button, it is the equation render button. So equation render button, in this, when I will click on this button, I will get this kind of interface. Means there is one LHS and here it is an RHS, and in between there is one equal to. So I can change the equal to sign as per my requirement, less than, greater than, not equal, and like this. Okay. So whenever we are doing any LHS equal to RHS calculation, then we have to use the equation renderer. So for let's take an example. I'm writing here it as force equals to mass into acceleration. Now you can see whatever I am writing here, it will going to give me this kind of output here. Okay. So now you can see I have just written the force, but it is not getting like written here. It is correctly. Now it is mentioned showing me as F or C, like in this manner. So how to correct this? For correcting this, we can click on this button, show tooltip button. Whenever in this portal, whenever we are writing anything, you will get access to this button. Okay, show tooltip. So I will click on this button. It will going to open one more window in which I will get some more additional tools. So in this first tool is the math tool. So here I can insert plus, minus, divide into, if I want to use the subscript, superscript, logarithmic, under root, numerator and denominator. All these things are available in this math section. And in the next section, this is the Greek section. If I will click here, I can access the all the these Greek letters, alpha, beta, gamma, theta. If I want to write any symbols like these, I can use insert those symbols using this Greek. And then this is the text part. So I am just trying to write the text. So I will click on this insert text. Okay. So let's again check this. So if I want to insert the text, I will simply go into the show tooltip, then text, and then insert text. So you can see like for inserting the text, this is a template. Like we have to put the inverted commas before and after of that thing. Okay. So I can either replace the insert text with the force, or I can put the inverted commas in before and after the force. So now I have like put the inverted commas here. So now you can see the output. So now the output is showing me correctly FORCA, but here acceleration is again in the incorrect format. So I will put the inverted commas here. So now it will convert into a correct format. The output will be correct. Force equal to mass into acceleration. So always use this show tool correctly. If I want to insert text, use this, and if I want to large space bold, so you can use these things. Here advanced math functions are also available. If I want to insert any integration, limits, derivatives, and all these pre-built like tools are also available. For calculus, we have these functions. We can insert the functions using these derivatives. We can insert the derivatives from here. For geometry, I can write the like degree, angle, triangle, all these symbols I can mention from here. And so as per the subjects, all tools are already given here. Trigonometry, and if you want to write any vector like x vector, y vector, so expressions are already there, some basic expressions. In the other, we can get these kind of arrows. So this is about the show tooltip button. Now I have written here mass into the acceleration, and we were talking about the equation rendered. So this is my first line. Now I want to enter second line. I will click here plus. Now I will mention here mass into. Now I will put the value of write the formula of acceleration. So for that, I will use this numerator and denominator. So here I will write it as velocity by displacement. Or we can write it as whatever the formula is, velocity by time or anything as per our requirement. So this is the second line that I have written here. Now I will click here plus again. Now I will put the values here in this formula. So I will use the numerator and denominator. I will replace the value of x. Now you can see. If I want to insert one more step, I will write here. I'm just writing any random thing here, so don't take it correctly. I'm just accessing the tool here. So whenever we are doing any LHS equal to RHS, if you want to do any calculation, then we have to use this equation renderer. So why we are using the equation renderer, you can see like all the equal to's you can see in the form equation. All the equal to's are properly aligned. So these can't be aligned when we are like directly writing these as in a text format. So that's why we have to use the correct tool, equation render tool, whenever our requirement is like this. So whenever we are using any tools, we will also going to access this tool help button. So if I will click on this tool help button, blue button, I will get 2 or 3 kind of options for that particular tool. So here I can like click on this button. It will going to show me like take me through the overview, step-by-step guidance by on-screen instructions. Next option is the was the tool video in details. So about this tool videos, what is tool rendered or equation rendered, it will going to show me one video. Okay. So in each and every tool, you will get these kind of options. Learn through an example, you can click here. So if I am writing equation render, I will get this. And if I am writing any inline equation also, I can get access to this show tooltip. So this was about the equation render. So the next tool here we have to discuss is insert inline equation. So inline equation means the name itself is representing whenever we have to insert anything in between the lines, then we have to use the insert inline equation. Inline equation when we have to use whenever we are using any mathematical term or any variables, we have to write in between the lines. That means the mass of the body is 50 kg if I want to write this thing. So the 50 kg, I can't write directly in a text format. That should be written like in between the lines. I have to use the write this thing. Then I have to use this inline equation tool. I will click here. Then I will write here 50 kg. So this is I have to write all these things using the proper tools. Now the next thing is force is represented as F. So again, this is a variable. For the variable or mathematical terms, we have to use the inline equation. So for if I want to write the F, then I will write it as F. Okay. So this is the requirement. Whenever we are inserting any mathematical equation terms or any force, then all these things should be like inserted using the inline equation. Inline equation we can also use whenever we want to write any formula, single line formula. If I want to write, I can use the inline equations also. So let's say I'm writing just a formula only. I'm not intended to use any calculation. So direct formulas we can write here using this tool. So all formulas should be written using the proper tool, inline equation tool. Okay. After that, the next tool is insert an illustration. So let's say for each and every subject, we must need to draw some diagrams, okay, because we can't draw any external diagrams. So if I will click on this pencil button, it will going to open insert an illustration. So this is the window that we will be getting. From here, this window, we can directly draw the diagrams that we want, that is required by us. So no external tool is required. All tools are already inbuilt in the portal itself. So that's how I can draw the diagrams. And now the next thing is how to label these diagrams. So the correct labeling is very important. So for that, I will click on this insert text button, T button. So if I will click here, I can mention it. Here it is. This is the figure 1. Okay. Now let's say I just want to mention the dimensions of this, like the diagonals, and I want to insert any complex mathematical equation. So for that, I will click on this next button just after the T button, insert math. So if I will click here on the insert math, and if I will double click here, it will open the tooltip. So now you can see when we can access the tooltip, now we can insert anything complex. So if I want to insert any complex thing, okay, let's say this equation I want to insert. So I can directly insert this equation. And if I want to do any changes, I can do the changes also. So for if you want to write anything in the equation format, then we can use this show tooltip button. Okay. And we can also align that properly as per the question's requirement. So this diagram is complete. So I have to provide the proper notations also, like this is A, B, C, D. For that, I will use the T part. This is A. This is B. So always provide the diagrams with proper notations. If I am done, I will click here done. The diagram will be inserted into the my solution. So this is about the basic diagrams. So but like you can see, like there are many options. Like this is the graph. If I want to insert the graph, I can click on this graph button and it will going to help me, like pre-drawn graphs, simple graph, linear graph, tangent, parabolic, I can insert. And here one option is also there, subjects. So in the subject section, you can see like all the diagrams related to the subjects already there in the portal. If I will click on the algebra, it will show me some pre-drawn algebra diagrams, calculus. This is civil engineering diagrams, some pre-drawn. This is computer science, economics, and for the physics. So the basic the diagrams that was being used very frequently, these diagrams are already pre-built. If I want to draw insert anything, I will click here and then click insert. So it will insert that into my drawing window. Okay, so this is how diagram should be inserted. So this is about the illustration part. So the next tool that I want to explain here is the insert mathway. So mathway, again, in each and every tool you will get access to this tool help. It will going to help you to understand the tool. You can watch the videos and you can also watch the we will going to provide you some tool videos also, so we can use all these videos to understand the tool in a much better way. So the next tool that we will going to discuss, it is the next tool is this mathway, insert mathway, this one. So what is the mathway? Mathway, it is an AI that is already inbuilt in the check portal. It will automatically going to solve your complex equations. So let's say if I want to solve x equal to y plus 5. So let's say if I want to solve this mathematical expression, so I will write the expression here and I will click here solve. So after I will click here solve, it will going to ask me like what I want to do with this particular equation. If I want to solve it for x, y, if I want to draw its graph, y-intercept, x-intercept, or diagrams, if I want to find its standard form, slope, derivation, and all these things, we can calculate using this equation. So let's say I just want to draw this graph for this equation. So I will click here graph and then I will click on the calculate result. So now you can see the calculation for this particular equation for drawing the graph is already written in this format. So I can directly click insert and it will going to insert all these steps in my solution. Okay. So one thing that we need to note here is that whenever this we are writing any equations, always provide the supporting statement. like whatever we are doing in the next step, or what functions we are going to use, or what like operation we are doing, we have to write it with the text line after each operation or after each like substitution in the equation. So always use the supporting statement in your solutions also. This is about the math way. So the next tool here, it is for the chemistry. So for chemistry, we have a specific tools built in the portal that will help you like to draw the diagrams, draw the bonds and all these things. So for the drawing the chemistry, this we have to use click on this button, insert a chemistry block. So same as the illustration, this chemistry block now will going to insert the chemical structures. We can draw the chemical structures using this chemistry block. And if I want to put any like bonds, I can choose here single bond, partial bond, double, triple bond, hashed bond, wedged bond. So I can insert them as per my question requirement. Okay. And here it is the add or edit bonds. So I have chosen the type bond from here. And if I want to insert that bond, I will click on here on this button. And if I want to insert any like lone electron text part, we can use the same. It is a insert an illustration. Same tools are already there. And if I will click on this chemistry basics, it will like show me some basic diagrams related to the chemistry. So this is about how we will going to draw the chemistry blocks. Next thing is the insert CAM inline equation. So for CAM inline equation means same as a like a normal math in text inline equation. In CAM line equation, if I will click on the show tooltip, it will going to show me some tools related to the chemistry. So if I want to write any equation, I will can write here it is as H2 plus O2. Now I want to provide like mention it as like this is equation or equilibrium equation. I will mention this thing here. So now it will convert into like this. For writing any chemical equations, you will going to use this insert CAM inline equations like this. Okay. And the next option is the insert a graphing block. So for inserting any graphs, we can insert it using this function like add function. We can write it the function directly like x plus 2, and I will click save. So it will insert that particular like function directly into the graph, and then I can like insert it into my diagram, so like in my solution also after doing the proper labeling. So this is about the tool guidelines. And for the explanation, we can add the explanation by clicking on this button, add explanation. Okay. In between the step, if you want to add explanation, I can add the explanation from here. And for inserting additional steps, we can use this button, add another step. Okay. And like whenever you are done writing your solutions, always click on this button, check structure. So if I will click on the check structure, it will like automatically check like if I have followed all the guidelines of this portal or not. So they will going to provide me some points. So always make sure you will get 100 like 60 out of 60 points. Sometimes it will be 70 of 70. You need to get all points like 100% points before posting your solutions under the check my structure. So it will just check few things and it will going to show you like what things you are mentioned like missing here. So click on this improve and use editor tools in order to like improve your structure. So structures should be 100% before like posting your solution. So this is about the tool users guidelines. Now we will going move. Okay. Yes, payments will be on monthly. We are following a payment cycle of 20, means the month we are following it is not from 1 to 30. We are following 21st to 20, 21st of this month to the 20th of next month. And the payment will be credited within 15 days, means by the 5th of every month, you will get the payment for the previous month. Okay. So this PDF we will going to share with you in this all the tools like how we have to use the tools, platform tools. It will explain. So these PDFs we will going to provide you templates, how we have to use, what kind of template, math, equation renderer, drawing tools, how to use, and all these things. So this was our project guidelines. In this guideline, you can see like this thing we have already I explained you, like solution window, tagging. I have already explained you how to do the tagging, step-by-step solution, final answer. Now this is the one more thing that we just skipped, like how to solve, which kind of questions we have to solve, how many questions to solve, because like students will going to post like their doubts or their questions in format of the images. They will simply click any image and they will upload, and we have to decide like which question we have to solve. So we have certain guidelines for that. So first is the type of question. So if we are getting any multiple questions, multiple question means in a single image, if there are different questions like question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, in that case we have to only solve the first question. Okay, in case of the multiple questions, we have to solve only the first question unless the student has asked for a specific question to be solved subject to a minimum of one question. So let's say there are 5 questions on the image, but student has asked like solve the fourth question, then we have to solve the fourth question. But if a student has not mentioned anything and the student has simply posted the image, then we have to solve the first question only. We can't solve the second, third, fourth by our own. By default, we have to solve the first question. But if a student has asked like solve the fourth question, then we have to solve the only the fourth question. So is this point clear? Because this is very, very important point. If in the multiple questions you solve the second question, not the first question, then it will be like treated as a like incorrect solutions, because as per the guidelines we have to only solve the first question unless the student are asked. So this is very general mistake that our experts are like committing. They are not following the guidelines, or they are not solving the correct question. They are doing their work but not correctly, so it will not going to help you. So the next kind of questions you will get is the multiple subpart questions. Multiple subpart question means there will be one question, question one. In that there will be multiple subparts, like part A, B, C, D. These kind of parts they will be getting. So in that case, we have to solve all the subparts. Okay. If the question having like 4 subparts A, B, C, D, then we have to solve all the subparts. But if we can't solve, or like if we can't solve any one subpart, then we have to skip that question under like multiple subparts. But if some we are attempting this question, then we have to solve all the subparts. You can't skip B or C any single subparts. If any subpart is being skipped by you, then it will be treated as incomplete solution. So the next kind of questions that we will be getting is the multiple choice questions. So this will be the most of the questions you will be getting like this. So in this multiple choice question means there will be a question one, and there will be 4 options A, B, C, D, and we have to decide like which option is correct and which is incorrect. So what will be the approach for that? Step one is like common to the same for like all the kind of questions. Step two will be different for multiple type of questions. Here we have to explain correct option, explanation. Here we have to write this thing, and the step three we have to write it as incorrect option, explanation. This is the multiple choice question. Correct option explanation means there are 4 options A, B, C, D. Now let's say option B is correct. So I will provide the explanation to step like option B. But along with this correct option, I have to explain all the incorrect options also. B, C, and D subparts. I like B, C, and D options. I also have to explain like B why these are incorrect. And in the final answer, I will mention like solution will be, or I can like it in my language like this part is correct B. So I will also write like if the value of the B also, not don't just write the option, write the complete sentence that is under the B. So we have to mention the complete thing here under the final answer. So this is the approach for multiple choice question. Provide the correct option explanation, provide the incorrect option explanation, and the step one will be common to all. Okay. So this thing we have covered, and how to skip the question we already covered. Now the check honor code policy. So what is the honor code policy of the check? Check is like the check portal. Why this portal was developed? First of all, this portal is developed for helping the student to improve their grades. Okay. So check have an honor code. Like check will not help the student to cheat in the exams. Okay. So expert must not participate in adding like academic dishonesty. Academic dishonesty, they will like refer the term means they can't help the student to cheat. So in that we can't answer the certain kind of questions. So the first kind of questions that we can't answer on this portal, it is examination or test question or copyrighted questions. Examination question means if some like question in like the most of the questions that you will get, it will be an image format. So in these images, if these terms are there, like this is the exam name mentioned here, institute name mentioned here, or like this, then we have to skip these questions under abusive or spam category. If you will be attempting these questions, then you will going to get a red rating or the negative feedback, and it can lead to the ID deactivation. So if you are not following the check honor code, it will be treated as a very like a serious issue, major serious issue. So if any examination name is there or anything, then we can't provide the solution to that. If any copyrighted question is there, means the author name is in the background, in the watermark is there, then we can't provide the solution to that copyrighted question. The next kind of question is the activity based questions. Activity based question means if the student is asking us to do some activity and then provide the solution. Activity means they are providing some tasks, like what if we will do these things, then what will be the output. So this is activity based question, then we have to skip these questions. So if the final exam, test or quiz are like these kind of questions we are getting, like this kind of like watermarks is there, then we don't have to provide the solution to those questions. Okay. But there is one thing, like if the final exam is there, and final exam means like we can't provide the questions, like this is 2023. So if year is mentioned here, like final exam 2023, then we can't answer. But if the final exam 2022 is mentioned here, or the years all before the 2023, means these are the previous year questions, then we can provide, because these will be the PYQ, previous year questions that the student has asked the doubt. So those we can solve, but not the current year questions. But if there is no year is mentioned here, then we have to treat them as a current year. If no year is mentioned, then this is the current year. If year is mentioned as 2021, then we can solve, because it will be a previous year questions or the exam review questions, practice test, or the mock test. Okay. So these questions we can't solve. And if in some questions, if some any external URL is there, these kind of URLs, any website like half or full website is like link is there, then we can't provide the solution to that. And some opinion or perception based questions means if a student is asking your own opinion, like what happens if you will going to do this, what happens, what are your opinions on this, then these kind of opinion questions we can't provide. Here we are only providing our solutions, not our opinions to like we can't like ask any other experts to uh, like force our opinions on anyone. So opinion questions we can't provide. And the next thing is that this kind of questions, like you can see in the image, like in this question you can see like some like grading is there, some weightage is given, like this question is is of the 30 points. So this question is for the 10 points, this question is for the 5 points. So always move look for these gradings, these are the weightage, these are like representing, like these are the examination questions, and these examination questions are posted by the student. So we as per the check honor code of policy, we can't help the student to cheat. So these grading questions we can't skip, we can't solve, we have to skip them as under the graded category or marks mentioned. So these questions we can't solve. These can be either 30 points, 30 marks, or 20 percentage, or like anything. If it is representing like this question is having this kind of weightage, then we can't solve. Essay type questions we can't solve on this portal, and we can't like do any plagiarized solutions, and we can't post any plagiarized content on this portal. And if some proctored exam questions we can't also solve. Okay. sometimes what is happening nowadays is all the companies are taking online examination of all the like candidates that are applying to them, and for that they are using some tools. So these are the tools that are being used used majorly: Proctorio, Responders, Honorlock. So these are the like online test tools that they are using. So if in any question these kind of text is there, like Proctorio is sharing your screen, Honorlock is sharing your screen, requires a Responders lockdown browser, these kind of like watermarks, then we can't solve, because these are the examination questions that student is asking us. So these are the points to keep in mind, like the following kind of questions we can admit, and these are the questions that marked as abuse and we can't admit. So we will share this PDF with you. You can go through these PDFs.